Yeah, I'm recording now. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna start partial denture. Okay. So what's the difference between partial denture and complete denture? The main difference, what do you think, Ashley? Shadira, what do you think is the difference?
You said the difference between partial and the
complete denture.
The partial is just like a piece. It's not a full denture.
Yes.
It's just like a couple of teeth.
Yeah. Well, there's many. It's also the partial denture will replace just a few a few teeth, maybe 3 or 4 teeth. The complete denture would replace all the teeth. But there's other thing. It's called dynamic, biodynamic, because when the complete denture moves, doesn't affect the tissue underneath. It's flexible. The complete denture push on the residual ridge, and residual ridge will absorb the pressure, and so complete denture move. While the partial denture is attached to the teeth, so if there any movement, will transfer to the teeth, and too much movement will damage the remaining teeth. That's another thing, and that's why we classify partial denture toward something like complete denture, because we're losing many teeth and there's movement. And some of the partial denture are like suspended by teeth, they have less movement. That's the main difference. The other difference is the time of complete denture. The people, when they lose their teeth, they lose the relation, they lose their aesthetic, they lose the way they speak. While in partial denture, especially if they replace 1 tooth or 2 teeth, the people, they still have their occlusion. They still have the relation between lower jaw and upper jaw. They still have all these relations, centric and relation, vertical dimension of the face. Remember, when people lose their teeth, they lose the facial height. Their face will be more rounded because they lose the teeth, and the distance between the nose and the lower jaw will shrink. But in partial denture, we still have some of that, unless he lost many of the teeth and they lost the relation. So this is a definition of partial denture. It restores one or more, but not all the natural teeth. And it's supported usually by natural teeth, dental implant or crown, abutment, and fixed partial denture, also the mucus ridge. So there is a tooth or implant, and there is a mucus membrane that residual ridge. So partial denture can be described as a fixed partial denture, removable partial denture. We're not talking about fixed, we're talking removable. The patient can remove it and replace it. So that's why our class is removable partial denture. So there's many classifications, but the most used is Kennedy classification. Let me see. Okay. Kennedy classification, and then so the Kennedy classification is a guy, he just discovered that there's a movement of partial denture. So he classified partial denture, the class 1, when both the back area, posterior area, they're missing, there's no teeth there. So it's bilateral posterior edentulous area. So the patient lost all the back area. So I have pictures in the lecture 1. I should have it here, just a minute. No, lecture 2. All right. Okay, can you see this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a class 1. We have the anterior teeth and there is nothing there on the back. So when you replace this with partial denture, there is movement. Definitely there's movement because the tissue remaining, it's compressible. So this type, that's class 1. Bilateral edentulous posterior. On the back teeth, there's missing back teeth. This is class 2. Class 2 is unilateral. Just one side, we're missing teeth. That's class 2. Okay. For the class 3, class 3, we have there's a tooth in the back. There's a tooth. We have missing area, but there's a teeth here and a teeth here. So this partial denture will be suspended by teeth. So this one will be easier for us and easier for patients because it's gonna be stabilized by the teeth. This type of partial denture. Okay. And they made class 4. Class 4 is just when you have missing teeth around the anterior line, the midline. Okay. So class 1, when we have bilateral posterior missing teeth. Class 2, we have unilateral, one area missing teeth on the back side. Class 3, when we have teeth on both sides of the missing or edentulous area. Class 3, and this is class 4. Class 4 is a midline. Okay. We go back to the PowerPoint. So class 4, so edentulous area, there's no tooth replacement. This is just the rules about it. So this is a class 1. Can you see it? This is lower. We're missing the molars here. So this is the canine. This is the first premolar, and second premolar is gone. The molars are gone. This is the same. This is lower. This is upper. So both of them, they are class 1 Kennedy classification. Got it? And when we replace the teeth, it's going to be like that. You know, in dentistry prosthodontic in general, we don't replace wisdom teeth. You can see they replace first molar, second molar. There's no third molar. You know why, Ashley?
Because I don't know.
Well, you know, because when the people lose their teeth, the area shrinks. We have less space. Can you see? But so it's all the, and the longest the denture, you have more movement. So usually we replace first molar, second molar. Sometimes if we don't have a space, like here, we can replace with one premolar and one molar because we don't have a space. That's the thing. We have limited space. So we rarely put the wisdom teeth unless the patient are young and they have big space and there's a gap. You can put third molar, but in general, we replace first molar and second molar. So depend on how much space we have. So for this one, this is the first molar. So when you replace second premolar, sorry, and one molar, maybe it's enough because there's no space. It will be one here and one here. That's the thing. So in generally, we don't replace the second molar. Okay, that's for the class 2. Class 2, we have unilateral. Can you see this patient has one molar here? We're not going to replace this because there's no space. Can you see it? So we replace just one side. And these are connected arches. These are just to hold the denture in place and prevent movement. That's class 2. Class 2 is unilateral missing area. We're going to replace this one. Okay. That's this one. That's class 2, unilateral edentulous area. That's class 4. We're going to go This is still a class 2 because unilateral, but there's modification. So this is class 2 with modification 1. This is class 2 here, missing area. Modification 2, we have 3 missing part. And this is the picture of the metal partial denture. Then we can add teeth here. This is not a class 4, this is class 2 because we have 1 edentulous area, so extensive, and there's missing in the front, but we can add a tooth here in front. All right, this is class 3. In class 3, when there's a tooth in the beginning of the edentulous span and the tooth behind the edentulous in the front of so the denture or partial denture will be suspended by a tooth in the front of it and a tooth in the back of it. Got it? So that's class 3. Class 3 is the most stable one because there is less movement because it will be attached to this tooth and attached to this tooth. And you know, what is this? Shadir, what do you think of this? This one?
What's the question?
Oh, look, sometimes the dentist, because we're gonna put a metal here. Can you see this metal thing?
Yeah.
That supports the pressure. So sometimes food stuck underneath this metal and make decay of the tooth. So sometimes the dentist will make a filling here to prevent decay. And sometimes they make crown to cover this thing to protect this area, especially if the tooth is small. This is a canine. So sometimes the dentist will make a like a little dent. So they call it seat, rest teeth. Sometimes the dentist will make this. We don't do it. The dentist will do it, not the dental technician. So he made this a dent, and sometimes they fill it with metal or amalgam or silver filling, or sometimes crown, like these crowns. These will prevent decay and prevent pressure on the teeth. So that's the difference. That's one of the difference of partial denture and complete denture. Complete denture, there's no teeth. While partial denture, there's teeth, and we make modification on the teeth, especially the teeth that carry the clasp or the rest or these things, connective tissue, connected the denture, partial denture. Okay. So that's class 3. Class 3 between 2 teeth. There's a span between, there's a tooth here and tooth in the front of the span. So this will be the most stable one, most stable classification, class 3. This is another class 3. Class 3, this is class 3. There's a molar here, a molar here. So it's a bilateral class 3. There's a tooth in the beginning, tooth in the behind. This is class 3. Yep. Okay. So whenever there's a tooth in the back, tooth in the front, this is class 3. Okay. Class 4, it's the only we classification class 4 if it's anterior teeth missing. If there is midline space, that's class 4. And we're missing the front teeth. I had patient. She was she tried to kiss a dog, and he bite her and got the front teeth. And we try, and maybe I'll show you. So she lost all the front teeth within like one bite, and we have to replace the bone and we put a partial denture on her face. And and most people lose like all these front teeth because of a trauma. They've been hit or something. Sometimes they have gum disease, but usually gum disease will affect the back teeth, molars, and the front teeth. But yeah, so this case, this patient missing the front teeth around the midline and be replaced by this partial denture. So this is metal partial denture. In partial denture, the metal will give it stability. There's no movement. So when there's no movement, there's no torque, there's less pressure on the remaining. And this is the picture of the missing teeth. Okay. This is another classification of class 3. Okay, so partial denture, there's many classification of the component, the parts. There's a major connector, there's a minor connector, there's a direct retainer, there's the base replaced teeth, that's fake teeth, and direct retainer. Let me show you these pictures. I'll show you what they are. So this is a major connector. When it's connect all parts of the partial denture, major connector. I have another picture. This is a major connector. Okay. This is another major connector. It's a big one that usually connect all parts from one side to the other side, or in general. There is a minor connector, connecting the major connector to the clasp. Like this is a minor, the small arm here. It's a minor connector. This is a minor connector. This is a major connector. These are minor connectors. Major connector here, big one. These, the small one, are minor connectors. This is a retainer, them called clasp, but in general they call retainer because it prevents the dislodgement of the denture in general. It's a major connector one, and this is a minor connector. Between the clasp and the major connector, there's a minor connector. This is the minor connector. This is the clasp. This is rest. Sometimes they call rest and rest seat. And this is another clasp. And this is the base or fake teeth. We have a picture of it. So let's go for definition of the major connector. Is the part removable partial denture that join component from one side to the arch to the opposite side. And there's different type of it. For the lower, like lingual bar, labial bar, lingual plate. For the maxillary, we have complete palatal plate, anterior posterior strap, and anterior palatal strap. So this is for the lower. The problem with the lower, we don't have space. We have the tongue would be here. So we usually make a bar here. This is called lingual bar or a plate. And the plate has to cover the remaining teeth. So, so this is a major connector. That's a lingual bar. That's a minor connector. That's a clasp or direct retainer. That's a reciprocal arm. This is rest. This is another rest. This is nose. This is the base, the denture base. It looked like a mesh because the acrylic will come and the teeth will be hooked here. So this is a lingual bar. This is the lingual base. For the maxilla, this is the palatal plate. Can you see it's big because we have a space. This called plate. And this is the mesh where we put the acrylic and we put the fake teeth here. We put fake here too, fake teeth here. So this is modified plate. This is another major connector. Another type of a major connector is anterior posterior straps. Here, it's rigid, it's very strong, but some patients, they will like the space here so they can feel their tissue. Some people will like the whole palate to be covered. And this is a type of major connector. This is another one, single strap major connector. This is another type. These are maxilla. You can see the maxilla, we have a space, so we can put a lot. Some people don't like this one. Why do you think we don't like this? Because we have space. Why we use this one? And when you have very small one, that might be a movement. There might torque, and every time there is a movement of partial denture, the movement will transfer to the remaining teeth and will make damage to the remaining teeth. Okay, this is another type of maxillary major connector for partial denture. This one, no one will do this. It's very, because it's going to be on the back. Why? Why you do that? It's this. I see it just in the book. We never do that. Okay. Imagine people they don't have space. Their tongue all the way here to the teeth. So the tongue is so high. And there's like remember when I told you about the tori, the extra bone here? Some people have an extra bone here. So the dentist will put the bar in the labial side on the behind the lip. So it's not comfortable for the patient and it's visible. So when they smile or they laugh, some people might see that shiny thing. So this is the least favorable for the lower partial denture major connector. Okay. All right. So minor connector is connection between the major connector and other parts. And so let's connect the major connector or the base removal partial denture to the other unit processes such as the clasp, assembly, indirect retainer, occlusal rest, cingulum rest. All part of the partial denture should be rigid and distribute stress between the link components and should not pressure on the remaining structure or remaining underlying mucosa, but there's no pressure on the teeth. Mucosal surface highly polished, prevent plaque accumulation. Plaque, there's a food stock there, so it's always partial denture should be highly polished, smooth. So this is a minor connector. Let's connect the major connector here with the rest. This is a rest. This is another rest. This is another rest, and there's the clasp assembly. These are 3 rests. These are minor connector here, minor connector here. All right. So, okay. Good morning. How are you?
Thank you. Can I use a pen for a minute?
Yes. Okay. Direct retainer. It's the clasp in general, but it comes with a component. It's like a unit of clasp. So this is a clasp assembly. There's a rest here to suspend the partial denture. The rest will sit on the tip. And there is a retentive arm. This is a retentive arm, just the tip of it is flexible, and there is a reciprocal arm. Imagine when you hold a big glass of water. You need 2 arms. The retentive arm, reciprocal arm. If you use just one arm, it will drop it. That's why with the tooth the same. So you need one retentive arm. It should be a reciprocal arm of the direct retainer assembly. So I know some people use a clasp, but there's a reciprocal arm. Sometimes in the removable, flexible or acrylic partial denture, we replace this metal arm with acrylic. The acrylic will be here, and the partial denture here on this side, or the retentive arm on this side. Oh, this is the rest. When the dentists sometimes they make this concavity or something so that the partial denture will rest on the tooth without damaging it. And sometimes they fill it with the silver filling. Sometimes they fill it with the crown, the whole tooth with the crown, then they put the bench on it. And so the occlusal rest will transfer stress from the abutment teeth, the fake teeth, to the remaining teeth. It also resists movement procedures into cervical direction. Imagine if there's no rest. I'll show you. Imagine there's nothing here or here. If you bite, this one will go down and damage this tissue. Every time the patient bites, it will damage the remaining tissue here. So these rests will transfer the bite of the fake teeth to the remaining teeth. It's like support. Imagine this tooth without rest. If you bite on it, it'll go down and will cause damage to the residual ridge. Okay, so this is a closure rest. Sometime in the anterior, where they call it cingulum rest. This is a premolar, and the dentist make 3/4 crown, and the crown he made a concavity for the rest to sit. And this is a crown. This is another crown. Sometimes they use gold inlay and onlay. Well, we can talk about the gold inlay. It's a type of filling. Gold inlay and onlay. It's a type of filling made of gold. And all this to prevent damage to the teeth and prevent decay when you use partial denture. These, we're not designing this. The dentist will design the pressure. So when you design the rest should be perpendicular to the long, to the vertical side of the tooth. If you make it like this side, it will pressure the tooth this way, then anteriorly. This should be like this, so the pressure will transfer to the root immediately. So the rest, design of the rest is not the dental lab problem, is the dentist's problem. He will do that and he will send it back to you. This is the type of rest here. This is the rest. Sometimes the rest on the cingulum part of the canine, they call it cingulum rest. That cingulum ball, cingulum groove, the design done by the dentist. You don't do it. This is a closure rest. Sometimes they put it on the cingulum side. Even they can do it on the incisal side, but it's very rare because it will be visible if the rest is going to be on the front teeth. Can you see this curve?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the seat is going to sit. The partial denture will be, or the rest is going to be rest here. Okay, the subluxar arm is the arm that will help the clasp arm. I'll send you the other. This is the subluxar arm. There's retentive arms. Picture. This is retentive arm. This is subluxar arm. This is retentive. Usually, the difference between retentive arm and subluxar arm. Retentive arm is flexible. It will flex when you try to get the denture out, while reciprocal arm is stable and just give a reciprocal pressure to hold the denture inside on the tooth. The denture base is the base when we put usually made of acrylic, where you put the fake teeth there. Usually a mesh or like this way, so the acrylic will go in and out, and we put the teeth over it. And sometimes we make it like this, just to make it rough, whereas the acrylic will hold, and then like this one, and we put the fake teeth. This is the denture base. So the denture base will be like this, a little rough, and the denture base should not touch the residual ridge, because there will be acrylic underneath and over it, and we could put the teeth over them. Okay, replace teeth, prevent migration remaining teeth. Well, the whole thing, we're replacing the teeth is we need fake teeth to replace the lost teeth. Restore masticatory function, retain proper arch. All these we know, just like most of the teeth we use acrylic. We never use porcelain, it's very expensive and it's a lot of work. Metal, gold, and chrome, no one uses it anymore. Because if you have acrylic teeth, easily to adjust. Easily you can brush it away. They look good, they color it. No one uses gold teeth unless the patient asks for it. Some patient asks for gold teeth, like on the front teeth. but no one uses gold anymore to replace teeth. Okay. All right. It's all these replaced teeth, all these fake teeth. Okay. So all these porcelain. Porcelain is very expensive and difficult to adjust because sometimes they will be higher. If you try to grind them, they will break. While the acrylic are the best. I don't want you to know about the indirect container. We'll talk about the indirect container later. Because, okay. Any question?
I do. So with the base for the denture, the partials, is there a difference when it's rigid and when it's not? Like when it's just a little squares?
Oh, the design. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can make it. The design usually the dentist will design that. I will show you this. This is the design. The dentist will design this for you. And if the dentist didn't design it, you will design it. Yeah. So it depends on how much space. Can you see this one? Let me share this.
No.
Okay. Let me share. Okay. You can see that? Okay. So this is patient missing these teeth. It's the front teeth, back teeth, and this side. So the dentist will design it like this. This is the major connector, and this is the denture base. Can you see the denture base?
Yeah.
So it depends how much teeth you lost. You lost this. Here's going to be a little bit denture base. Here's going to be a little denture base. It depends how much space you have. So you make it round, square, whatever. Can you see it here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how much space you have. If you lost a lot of space, you have to make it this very small, but at least should be like either a mush or a bar so that the acrylic will stuck with it.
Okay.
Okay. Ashley, do you have a question? Ashley?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it's a little different from complete denture. Complete denture is very easy. Impression, take impression, replace all the teeth. But here we think about movement. We think about keeping the denture in the mouth that we need a clasp and reciprocal arm. We need to keep the denture suspended away from the tissue. So we need the rest. These are the red thing are rests. All these are rests to prevent going of the partial denture downward and pushing on the tissue. Other thing is the movement. Partial denture should be rigid and should not make any movement. If it's rock, it will remain because these teeth are holding the partial denture. Every time it moves, it will damage them. And if you remember, the partial denture is suspended by ligament, and too much pressure on the ligament, you will have destruction of ligament. You will have periodontal pocket, losing of the teeth, and patient end with complete denture. Okay. All right. Any other question?
Nope.
Okay, can you send me the stuff I sent? I gave it to you, and if you can send me the partial denture MCQ if you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm driving at the second, so whenever I get home, I'll send it.
Okay. All right. So hope to see you next week. But maybe this week I'll try to get some lecture, but not next week, Tuesday. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys. See you. Bye.